All right. Thanks for watching the replay. And telling your followers, oh, thanks. I'm reading what Instagram's telling me. It's a nice warm day here in Southern California. The sun is out. Can't complain. Good day. So anyhow, hopefully you guys are doing well. And I thought I would just jump on, and we are going to basically be hanging out with Courtney from Brilliance Advanced Beauty, and she is here now. So, all right, very cool. Let's go ahead and go live. Sponsors with LashCast, so we're excited to have her, and we're going to talk a little bit about LashCast, a little bit about what she's doing, and there we are. Hey,
hi, how are you?
good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Very cool. We made it work.
We did, and it looks like a beautiful day for you at home.
Yes, I can't complain. It's looking good here in SoCal. So,
Yeah.
cool. Well, we thought we'd jump on and do a couple things. Talk about LashCon for those who are wondering what's going on with that and still have not bought your ticket for some reason. And secondly, we want to talk about what you're doing because we're excited to have you on as a sponsor. And very excited to see, you're doing stuff in the training space, and I'd love to hear more about you. So let's say I'll just say this for LashCon, we'll get to that later. LashCon tickets, less than 60, guys. We're almost at the finish line for amount of tickets we can sell, and we are done at that point. And at that point, we'll just adjust and sell virtual tickets, I guess. And you can see us virtually, which is just not as much fun. I mean, virtual had its place, but I think we're all here for live stuff now. So.
For sure. It was such a, if I may say, I'm not a lash extension artist, and when I was there last year, working part of the time and attending part of the time, you guys, even as a non-extension art, esthetician, just the people you meet and the people they have speaking, it's just, you will not regret it. It's just such an amazing experience. And at the end of the day, you're tired and you're like, I don't know if I'm going to go to after party. Do it all. Do it all. You'll just, yeah.
Yeah, we'll wear you out. That I promise that. You'll be done. You'll need a vacation after you're done with LashCon.
Yeah, it's just so much fun and just met so many amazing people that I feel like we'll be friends forever, so definitely.
No. It is a unique group, and this year we've doubled the size. So we had 500 last year, a little under 500. This year we'll have a little over 1,000. So that's everyone. That's attendees, speakers, vendors, sponsors, all that stuff. So it's going to be crowded, that's for sure. It's going to be like one of those nightclubs where you just walk around, you're trying to squeeze through people. So it should be fun.
Well, that's good. More people to meet and hear from then.
Yeah. No, definitely. You will. It's gonna be impossible to leave this place without making some friends. We're gonna make sure that's true. And I know that's the number one fear most people have. Is like, I don't know anyone. I don't want to go and be all alone. It's gonna be so crowded. You're gonna have to sit in someone's lap. So you'll just be friends with that person. So it's all good. It's a friendly group too. We really. I don't know what it is. I've been to many conferences and it's not always that way. And we've been very blessed. I don't know, it's just the tribe that follows us, or just we really try to make sure the speakers and everyone knows that this is, yes, we're there to, build our companies, but we're there to serve too. And really need to make sure we take care of people. So, anyhow, I don't have a ton of time. I realized I have to be somewhere at 2. So let's get into what you're about, because I really want people to find out, because you're offering something I think quite unique in our industry. And I thought it'd be great to find out a little bit about your background, and then what is B.A.B.E all about.
Well, thank you for having me. So I have been an esthetician for 21 years, and I am located in Illinois. I have done training, I've been a trainer for a product line, and a distributor, a sub-distributor, and also a general manager of a large company as well, for the United States. But I just feel I'm back with clients, and I started B.A.B.E, which is Brilliance Advanced Beauty Education. So in some states like Illinois, for example, we have to do continuing education hours to keep our license intact. And I know, not every state does that, but there's a lot of topics that I feel a lot of our, fellow professionals, whether you're an esthetician, cosmetologist, and even branching into, massage therapists or nail techs, any of that, or beauty educators that, no one really talks about. And so I have been working on, I have courses available for people to do. They're online. We also have a virtual course coming up on August 8th, and that one's just, it will be several different speakers, but for those who need continuing education hours, they will consider, most states consider that hands-on because of COVID, thankfully. So, but yeah, we're covering different topics like having a niche or business stuff, because a lot of times people, naturally more of us are artists than we are in that realm of things. So I've also paired up and working with several different professionals that have their niche that they are qualified to educate and write courses on. So it isn't
Sorry, there's a plane that decided to fly like 2 feet over our house. I don't get it.
Oh my coming in for a living.
Yeah.
But this isn't for just people that have to have continuing education, but as a person that does need that in our states, we tend to, if you're looking at a course, your next question is going to be, can I get hours? Because you have to take them to keep your license intact. So yeah, but we just want to work on, just building kind of what you guys are doing, community over competition, and just strengthening our industry and providing another place to have people feel comfortable and learn without feeling silly or, any of that. So
well, that's really interesting. I didn't know that they that was required. And I guess in some states like California, they don't care. Once you get your license, you're done. But do you know what states require outside of Illinois, or is it just
So I've been working on approval in several states, which dealing with states can be very time consuming and sometimes very expensive. But
yeah.
I know like North Carolina, South Carolina, Ohio, Georgia. It's like a lot of the East and Central. So Texas, Florida, Maryland, Iowa, Nebraska. So yeah, I'm approved with several. I mean, that's just to name a few. I know sometimes they just require it for the beauty educators. So like the people that are teaching cosmetology or aesthetics or whatever. So, but I think either way, if we're not learning, we're not growing, and there's just this, our industry, whatever part of it you're in, is just ever changing. So it's always helpful to learn and get more information. Never hurts.
Yeah, no, definitely not. It's interesting because the world changed with COVID, and also now online education is very popular. But I feel like I've also seen a certain almost like pushback, like we've overdone it on online training. So I'm assuming it's going to be here and it's going to be permanent. But I think we're going to get back used to the idea like it's part of the arsenal of ways of learning. Like it's not the only way anymore. You can go back to live, but I think people should really consider still augmenting their training and using these type of things, especially if it's approved by states and you get your hours and all that. That's a huge undertaking, I'm sure, that you had to go through to get that up and going. That's not for the faint of heart, because doing the states on anything, it takes years sometimes for anything to get done. So
for sure. And for sure COVID has slowed down, their staffing and their workloads are heavier. So it's just, but yeah, and most of our classes are online. So in many of the states, they can do about half of them online. And for sure, hands-on is definitely great, but I know that it's not always obviously feasible, or maybe it just depends on the type of class too, because sometimes like some of the stuff we're doing, we have a class about starting your own business, and in our realm as a beauty or wellness professional. And sometimes it's nice to have the online access because then you can go back and review it and refresh again as you go through the process, but for sure there are definitely a lot of classes. And I mean, I love going to the shows and the conferences and meeting people, and I don't know, just being in it. So
yeah. Are your classes mostly just esthetician? Are there lashes, or there's hair, or is it business? I mean, I guess what's the scope of stuff?
Yeah, so I'm working with people kind of in every spectrum. So even barbers, nail technicians, massage therapists, estheticians, cosmetologists, so obviously makeup artistry and lashes as well. So kind of everybody. And a lot of our topics are kind of for everyone, like starting your own business or the learning about finances, because, you know, if you're on your own, not all of them are geared for being a business owner, but
Yeah.
you know, there's definitely some information out there that it just makes it so much easier to have people that have been through it and thoroughly give you some resources. So, but yeah, we have different, like, we have a class that's how to, 10 steps to launch your career. And I feel like that's applicable for people that need to relaunch, because I know a lot of people kind of got, you know, fizzled out or burned out a little bit with the COVID ebbs
Yeah.
and flows. And so, or I mean, you know, I'm working on a boundaries course right now, which I think is applicable to everybody. And, you know, we need to have good boundaries with clients, but also good boundaries with bosses and, you know, all kinds of things. So, or with ourselves sometimes. So,
Yeah.
so
No,
yeah.
that's cool. So are these classes all pre-recorded? Or are they done live and then put in the library?
So most of them are pre-recorded and they can access them indefinitely.
Okay.
But we do have, like I said, that virtual day coming up. So that one will be live. And we have several different, there will be 4 of us speaking that day. And it'll be kind of like an all-day live course, covering a wide variety of things. And I think we will do that a couple times a year, just because I think it's really interesting and fun to have, you know, the interaction as well. But then they will have access to that live Zoom, so that way, you know, if they want to refresh, they can.
Cool. And
So,
then they go to your website and they can sign up. Is this a monthly membership type thing or yearly or?
no, we don't have a membership at this point. We've been considering for the future, but they can just go on and enroll anytime. And they're all self-paced. They have access indefinitely. Now the virtual day is obviously, you know, that day. So if you're going to attend, you need to mark your calendar and just do it. And, you know, but it's a Monday, because I know some people work on Mondays, but I know it's less than, you know, the majority, like a Friday or Saturday, and we don't want to take away from your schedule.
Yeah.
So
Those are money days. So yeah, I don't want to do that. Monday's always a good day. That's when we do our webinars usually and such. So now for you, so this is really a la carte. You buy a class that you have interest in and you can watch it. And what's the pricing? Are they all the same price or is it vary based upon the topic?
it varies depending on topic. So the least expensive is $17. The most expensive is $1,200, but that is we have a Ellie Bonner trainer that is on our one of our educators, and so it's one of her courses. But most of them are in the like 67 to 197 range, and it's just depending on how in depth the course is. You know, some of them are a little bit more shorter, but still very like educational, but some are just more in depth, like starting your own beauty or wellness business. Obviously we cover all the topics, and on our website we have like a little preview video of each course. Obviously not the live one coming up because there's no way to preview that, but just to kind of give you an idea of what it looks like when you're inside, you know, and so and what will be covered. So.
And how long are the classes? Are they an hour, 2 hours, or is it, again, topics vary?
Yeah. So most of them, the shortest one is a 2-hour, and then there's one that's like a 10-hour course, or a couple of them are the 10-hour, and those are the ones that are about 197 or so. And that for many professionals, if they are needing those continuing education hours, typically fulfills a lot of the hours that they need.
Yeah.
And that includes most of our courses have some downloadable worksheets. So if you're trying to work through, you know, how am I going to do this? Or, you know, I don't know, ideas and things like that. It gives you prompts, or even like a checklist, supplies and things like that. So.
That's great. I mean, it's great. I mean, I think it's cool to see. I think there's not a ton of this type of stuff going on. I mean, there's a lot of coaching programs and membership programs, but just a la carte kind of go in, find what you're looking for and buy it and purchase it. I think it's very cool. And this is you've only started this in the last year, you said, or?
Yeah, yeah, it's less than a year old. So
Okay.
it's just something I've wanted to do for a long time. I really loved training previously, and I mean, I certainly don't know everything, which is why I'm working with other professionals, but I feel like I want to give back. I know, you know, since it's been 21 years, 20 years ago, you fumbled around and tried to figure things out. And I know you guys have experienced the same. And not that like you still won't fumble through life a little bit, but if we can help at all and help you skip some of the mistakes we made and just learn and have a smoother process with, and strengthening your career. So.
No, I think it's great. I think everyone needs to invest in their career. I mean, truth is, if you want to do more than just be average, if you're not investing, if you're not spending money on yourself and growing in knowledge of business, then you really are pretty much saying that you're willing to be the worst in your neighborhood. And then, by the way, most people don't. I mean, here's the thing: the advantage that you get. I've at least over the years I've watched and gotten to know people. I don't know what the numbers are, but I bet you like 60, 70, 80% of lash artists don't do any investment in themselves. So literally, they get their basic training and they start working. And this is why every poll I've ever seen, and this is kind of sad, but the average lash artist by far makes only 20, 30, maybe $40,000 a year. And that's like more than 50% of lash artists fall into that category. And there are many reasons. The information that I have is pretty raw, so I don't have great depth of understanding why it's so low. But most likely it's because a lot of them are part-time. They're working moms. They're not looking for like a full-time business. They're not looking to make, 6 digits. But I know that the ones that, are doing that, the ones that are making 6 digits are also the ones that happen to be spending money on their career. They're going to LashCon, they're listening to podcasts, they're reading books, they're taking classes online. Like they didn't just get their degree in aesthetics, certificate, whatever, and then that was it. They're done. They go work and they'll never take more training. Anyone who is moving up the food chain, so to speak, is taking some of that money they make and then reinvesting it and growing themselves. And it's the only way to really be if you want to be in those numbers where you want to be making 80,000, 90,000, 100,000. And I mean like salary, not business. I always see people post online like, oh, I'm a millionaire. I'm a 6-digit business. And I'm like, wait a minute, how are you a millionaire? Well, my business made $1 million last year. That's not a millionaire. That's a business that made $1 million. Or if they made 200,000 in their business, oh wow, I made 200,000. No, that's what your business made. How much did you pay yourself? Oh well, I paid myself 80,000. Okay, well then let's be rational here. Let's not oversell things and for the sole purpose of making everyone feel bad online.
Yeah.
But that's the real numbers. But only people who get into those kind of numbers are the people who are going to taking things like what you're doing, and we're coming to LashCon. So anyone watching right now, if you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to spend more money, I don't want to learn, I don't want to do it, then just accept that most likely you're just not going to kill it. You're just not going to really grow. But if you want that, if you're like, man, why am I only making 20, 30, 40,000? There's ways to get in there, but you're going to have to invest in yourself. So.
Totally. And I think that's what I loved about LashCon is the people that come to LashCon are just in it, and they're passionate about their career and they want to be better. It's like nobody is coming there to just sit there and be like, oh, I'm filling my time, and that's kind of why we try, why I felt called to start a company like this, because while I don't always love that government's involved and forces us to do this by taking further education, but I'm like, man, if we're going to have to do this, I want to learn, because as an esthetician for 21 years, I'm happy if I learn one thing, but I got to be honest, I've taken so many very similar classes because there's not always a lot of variety if you have a niche like I do. So, but I think going to, the LashCon attendees were just amazing, and that they're there to step their game up, and I mean that's who we want to be around, and that's what motivates people. Even the people that are only making 30,000, they look at those people and they want that. But this is what you guys got to do.
It's a great thing. Learning motivates you. I mean, because you get new information, new things to try, new things to experiment with. And That's why for me, I continue to read books, I listen to podcasts, I go to conferences. I go to like, oh my gosh, I go to, outside of my own conference. I still go to at least 2 or 3 other conferences a year. And some are virtual, some are now they're in person again. And because I just know that even, here's the funny thing, I may not always apply everything I learn. In fact, I know I don't. I don't apply everything I learn. There's usually too much to learn.
Yeah.
But I do come back and I get stuff done. All of a sudden I'm like more motivated, more engaged because I was at that conference or I learned something new at a class or a book or whatever. And I just do more. I just feel like I'm equipped now and I'm more motivated. And that constant learning is a motivator. And if you're lacking motivation, and maybe because you're just stuck in a rut, kind of doing the same thing over and over and over, and you just every day it's just do a client, come home, do a client, come home, watch Netflix, and you're like, man, I need to get motivated. Like, well, one of the ways to get motivated is start taking classes where you meet like-minded people and where you also get information that makes you go, you know what, I get off my butt and improve. So like if you're like your stuff, you teach people how to set up your business better. A lot of people barely even have their business set up right. They literally just open the door, they combine their personal account and make that their business account, and then they just start doing lashes, and then they take, everything's under the table, cash, whatever, and everything's a disaster, like just waiting to happen. So learning how to set up a business and do it right is an extremely important skill, and it's, you guys have stuff like that and other things. That sounds like a wonderful gift to the industry. So that's great.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's needed and I want to help people, and I love making everybody stronger and being a part of all these things, that just boosts everybody up. We all rise when we lift each other. So for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. The world always talks about, the world's saturated, things seem not saturated. And the truth is our industry is not saturated. Actually, I was just talking to someone who works in Hawaii, and you think a small place like Hawaii where there's not a huge audience. She was like, oh my gosh, there's still not enough lash artists in Hawaii. There's just not. And even in Hawaii, where some of the islands only have 200,000-300,000 people, the thing is, I mean, like Tuss, a good example of why we're not saturated is, here's Tuss, one person doing lashes. She sees, she's no longer at the point where she's seen 80 people a month. She used to probably be seeing 20 to 25 people a week. We've intentionally cut it down because we're trying to work on other stuff. So she's now seeing between 10 and 15 a week. And so she's seen, she's got 40, 50 clients. That's it. And she'll make good money. She'll make well over 6 digits doing that. And I think, people would say, well, the market's saturated, I can't get in. Like, do you really think the 50 people she's taking in the city, area where we have 10 million people, that there's no more room for more artists right now? I mean, even if every lash artist took 100 clients, there would still be tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people available to market to and sell to if you just get out there and make some noise. So, and if you're watching, you're feeling like, well, yeah, it's great for you, but it's just not there yet. It's all side tangent here, but anyhow, I was just looking at the time. I only got a few more minutes before I got to run actually into the office. This is not my office. This is my backyard. Little tiny backyard here in LA. We live in a 1940s World War II home, I like to call it. It's definitely small.
That's all right, though. It's probably all you need. So
yeah, it's all we need. Yeah, it's large. But that's it. So where can they go find? I'm guessing obviously Instagram here. They can click on the link there. They can go look into it and start seeing classes and all that.
So we're on Facebook as well, Brilliance Advanced Beauty Education. We're on Instagram, and we have a website, brillianceadvancedbeautyeducation.com. And
Cool.
if you guys follow this week, I'm actually doing a giveaway. Tomorrow's my birthday, and it's not as fun to age anymore. So I mean, I'm thankful, don't get me wrong, but in gratitude, I'm giving away a course, and it's really simple, but I have a pinned post. So if you guys want to enter to win, I'm calling it on Monday. We'll announce the winner. So yeah.
Cool. Are you gonna be at IBS next weekend?
No, I'm not. We just have so much going on already. I know. I'm just.
Yeah.
I get a little like FOMO and a little like oh, I want to do this and I want to do this and I want to do this. But I did do the Chicago one, and
Okay.
that was fun. But yeah, maybe next year I'll get to Vegas. I was there last year and it was crazy. So
Well,
I'm
that's the
bummed.
first time I think we met you, right? Was I think at the
Yes,
Vegas show.
yes, and
Yeah.
you guys, it was nuts. So I hope that goes great for you guys. I'm sure it will. So
Yeah, I mean, we don't have a booth this year. It's the first year in 4 years, five. Well, we've had a booth every year for the last 3 out of the last 4. Last year it wasn't really our booth. We took over the LashCast booth, and because they couldn't come, and so
oh,
we had this giant space, 20 by 20 space, I think, with just a little table and our podcast recording. It was it was pretty funny. LashCast, I know paid a lot for that. I felt bad for them that they had
yeah,
to
poor
lose
thing.
that. But that said, this year we're just going as attendees, and then we're having a party on Sunday night at 9 o'clock at the Sahara Hotel. We have a penthouse suite, so we're going to be
Yeah.
partying there for a few hours. We're teaming up with Shelby from Last Boss Radio, and we have about 180 people coming right now. So we get about 60, 70 more tickets, I think, and then we'll be sold out. So if anyone's watching and you want to go buy your ticket. Links in our bio and our Instagram, and you can show up. I think we've filled up all our volunteers. We're looking for volunteers, but I think we've gotten all we need for that. So yeah, hopefully if you're going to IBS next, anyone watching, come by, see us. We'll be on the floor, and we'll be at a party, and we'll also be at other parties. Borderline has a party. Sinful Lashes has a party on Friday night. You can go to their websites, and I'm sure you can get details on that. So hopefully we'll see you at one of those events, and we'll have to see you next year. Well, Courtney, we'll see. Are you coming to LashCon? I know you're a sponsor, Bronze, but
Yeah, I can't. I know I'm already booked up on something else. So
okay.
so I'll be virtually there and having major FOMO.
It's all good. I'm glad you came last year. It was cool, and hopefully we will announce our dates. I think for next year, actually probably before LashCon this year. We'll probably let everyone know to start planning for next year, because I think we're going to expand it even more. So we may expand our size up to about 1,500 or so.
Wow.
We'll see. We're outgrowing our location for sure, but
Yeah.
I think we do one more year before we have to start really seriously looking at other places. So anyhow, very cool. Well,
Awesome.
hopefully if you guys haven't gotten or just joined us, go back, watch the replay, and you can check out basically Courtney's company that's helping train estheticians and nail techs, and all it looks like all the things, but not just in their skills, but in business and other such things, and another option for education. So I think it's a great chance to check it out, and hopefully we'll otherwise I don't know when I'll do my next live. My lives are so sporadic now. I used to do them like all the time, but
Life's busy.
yeah, we're just busy. But check out our podcast. That's where you can find us every week.
Yes, for sure. It's great. Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Just asked a question about, do you have to be 21 to attend the party?
Oh.
Technically, no, I don't think so. We're not checking badges. We probably should. But no, you don't have to be 21. Just don't drink, and don't get us in trouble. Okay, cool. Well, thanks so much. It's good chatting, and we'll I'm sure talk again, as I know you're one of our sponsors, so we're thankful for that.
Yeah. All right, thank you. I appreciate you, and you guys have a wonderful weekend.
All right, you too. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.